Greetings and salutations on my YouTubians, ODYSEEers, Sayans, Cobra Kais, and my pumpkins who are smashing. I'm Asherella, this is Original Asherella, and today we're going to be looking at some straight up nonsense, or at least in my personal opinion, this is just ridiculous, really. I don't know if you guys have heard, but over the past week, news broke that the man who was the baby on the cover of Nirvana's Nevermind is suing the band and everybody involved in the release of this album. Okay? Like, I have so many thoughts and feels about this. It's like almost to like rage stroke level of frustration and outrage about this. We're getting into that today. We're going to be looking at an article from NBC News, and I'm going to get into that in just a second. But before I do, you know what to do. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on ODYSEE, make sure you follow. If you aren't already following, you can gently press the notification bell on either platform. Leave me a like, leave me a comment, and follow me on my social media accounts. Alright, so you guys know, if you've spent any time around my channel or know me at all, that I absolutely love 90s culture, and of course that includes 90s music, and especially 90s alternative music. While my one and only favorite band ever is the Smashing Pumpkins, I do hold Nirvana in a high regard. You know, I have definitely a strong appreciation for the band and, you know, what they contributed to music in general and 90s culture. I like Nirvana. If you are one of the, like, maybe 0.001% of the people watching this that don't know who Nirvana is or don't know the Nevermind album cover, then this is what it looks like. You know, it came out in 1991. It was really, like, I mean, it is an iconic album and an iconic album cover. Like, it is so recognizable. It has been parodied and recreated in so many ways over the years, and, you know, it's just one of those things that you see it and you know. Okay, let's get into this article. This is from NBC News. And it is a man photographed as baby on Nevermind cover sues Nirvana alleging CP. Like, I don't know if my eyes can roll any harder right now, okay?
The man who was photographed naked underwater as a baby and later ended up on Nirvana's iconic Nevermind album cover filed a lawsuit Tuesday alleging he was a victim of CP. The album cover shows Spencer Eldon, now 30, in a swimming pool as a then infant with his downtown exposed. The image used for the cover of Nirvana's sophomore 1991 album includes a digital imposition of a dollar bill on a fishhook that the baby looks like he is trying to grab. The cover was widely considered a rebuke of capitalism.
Okay, right? That is trying to be symbolic of how, like, you know, money and its impact on the world is ingrained in us from birth, you know, and that's how I always took it, even as like a young person, you know, discovering this music and Nirvana, that album cover, like, it's pretty obvious that that is like what the meaning behind that photo is, right? Okay.
Non-sexualized nude photos of infants are generally not considered CP under law, but Eldon's lawyer, Robert Y. Lewis, alleges that inclusion of currency in the shot makes the baby appear like a sex worker. Kurt Cobain chose the image depicting Spencer like a sex worker, grabbing for a dollar bill in that position, dangling from the fishhook in front of his nude body, with his downtown explicitly displayed. The suit, filed in the U.S. District Court under the Central District Court of California, stated. Eldon is asking for at least $150,000 from each of the defendants, who include surviving band members Dave Grohl and Chris Novoselic, Courtney Love, the executor of Cobain's estate, Guy Oseary and Heather Perry, managers of Cobain's estate, photographer Kirk Weddle, art director Robert Fisher, and a number of existing or defunct record companies that released or distributed the album in the last 3 decades.
Oh my god. I think I read in another article there were like 17 defendants in all, and he's wanting $150,000 from each of them.
Original Nirvana drummer Chad Channing is also named as a defendant, even though he had been replaced by Grohl in 1990 before the album was recorded or the cover photography shot.
Are you kidding me? Like, how are they trying to sue? Like, this suit is, like, ridiculous nonsense trash in general. But how are you gonna sue a guy who wasn't in the band at the time of the album release, had nothing to do with it whatsoever?
Cobain commissioned the shoot after he had seen a documentary on babies being born underwater and thought the image would make a cool cover. Fisher told the magazine at the time, That vision was a bit too graphic, so we went with a baby swimming instead. Weddle took the pictures in an Olympic-sized swimming pool at Pasadena Aquatic Center in California. Weddle took a series of sexually graphic nude photographs of Spencer, the suit said, to ensure the album cover would trigger a visceral sexual response from the viewer. Weddle activated Spencer's gag reflex before throwing him underwater in poses highlighting and emphasizing Spencer's exposed genitals.
What? There is, like, the photo that is on that cover, there is nothing, like, sexual. It's a baby. Like, there's nothing sexual about babies in general. Like, oh my god.
The album was selling about 300,000 copies a week when it reached #1 on the U.S. Billboard's 200 in early 1992. The album, with classics like Smells Like Teen Spirit and Come As You Are, has spent at least 335 weeks total on Billboard 200. The cover image did receive pushback, at which point Cobain agreed to release the album with a sticker over Eldon's genitals that said, "If you're offended by this, you must be a closet pedophile."
That's pretty good.
Okay, the sticker, however, was never incorporated into the album cover, the lawsuit said. As a result, Eldon has been and will continue to suffer personal injury and permanent harm, including extreme and permanent emotional distress with physical manifestation, interference with his normal development and educational progress, lifelong loss of income earning capacity, loss of past and future wages, past and future expenses for medical and psychological treatment, loss of enjoyment of life, and other losses, the suit stated.
What? How has this impacted it, kept him from making money down the road? Like, you would not recognize this man on the street as this baby unless you've seen one of the many recreations that he's done of it over the years, and I'm going to get into that in just a second. But
neither Eldon nor his guardian signed a release authorizing the use of the image. According to the suit, the family was paid $250, Entertainment Weekly reported in 1992. In 2008, Spencer's father, Rick, recounted the 1991 shoot to NPR. He said his friend Weddle, the photographer, called us up and was like, "Hey Rick, want to make $200 and throw your kid in the drink?" The father recalled, I was like, "What's up?" And he was like, "Well, I'm shooting kids all this week. Why don't we meet at the Rose Bowl Aquatic Center, throw your kid in the drink?" And we just had a big party at the pool and no one had any idea what was going on. The NPR story went on to say the family didn't think more about it until 3 months later when they saw a 9x9 blow up of the cover on Tower Records while on Sunset Boulevard. 2 months later, the article said Geffen Records sent 1-year-old Spencer Eldon a platinum album and a teddy bear. Eldon repeatedly recreated the pose as a teenager and adult, diving into the pool to pose, while wearing swim trunks and on occasion of the album's 10th, 17th, 20th, and 25th anniversaries. However, in most of the interviews accompanying those photo shoots, he has expressed mixed feelings about being famous from the Nevermind cover and whether he was exploited by it. Until now, despite his ongoing ambivalence about the photo legacy, he hadn't described it as pornographic. In previous interviews, he also said he tried to get in touch with Grohl and Novoselic on a friendly basis, but never got a reply. In 2016, the last time Eldon recreated the pose as an adult, he told New York Times he wanted to take the shot naked.
He wanted to take the shot naked. That is definitely someone with trauma related to being, you know, exploited in this way would be doing, right?
I said to the photographer, "Let's do it naked," but he thought it would be weird, so I wore my swim shorts, he said. "The anniversary means something to me. It's strange that I did this for 5 minutes when I was 4 months old, and it became a really iconic image," he said at the time. "It's cool but weird to be a part of something so important that I don't even remember." He added that he prefers The Clash over Nirvana.
Okay. So, I guarantee, either this dude is, like, super broke and really needs some cash, and, like, this is what he thinks is gonna be, like, the easiest way to get him some money, or he had some, like, ambulance chasing skeezy attorney approach him with this, right? Like, somebody else looking to make a quick buck also. You know, I recently had a conversation with some people, and we were talking about, like, you know how, like, when you're, like, you know how kids will, or, like, people will take photos of their kids in the bathtub and, you know, like, at the beach if they're, like, naked or, you know, in the wading pool in the backyard or whatever. And that is like super innocent, but it's like almost like in this day and age, like you can't do things like that because they could potentially be exploited. But that is like not what this situation is at all. He is saying, like, his claim is that this photo was intentionally like shot to sexually exploit him. And that is nonsense. Not to mention, you know, I mean, he has recreated this photo so many times over the years. And you wouldn't do that if you did not, if you had some kind of like overwhelming or long-lasting trauma from something you don't even remember. Impacted his ability to earn. Like, why would that be unless he just consistently makes it known that he is the baby on the Nevermind cover in every job interview he goes into? Because you wouldn't know this man on the street. I don't, you know, never before had he said anything about it impacting his mental health or anything like this. So, in my opinion, and I'm pretty sure I'm right, this is just a really, really skeezy attempt at a cash grab. And it sucks that this dude, who is part of something so iconic and something so, you know, I mean, it's part of like the zeitgeist, is doing this. You know what I mean? Could you imagine if this, like, he's not gonna win this suit, but if he did, and then they had to go back and change all of the Nevermind album covers that are printed and went out from here on out, like, what would that would be crazy, you know? I don't know. And I also read another article that was like a suit against Nirvana LLC, and I'm just like, Nirvana LLC. That is so not grunge, right? But, you know, I mean, I like money, so, you know, you got to do what you do to protect your assets, right? I'm talking about Nirvana, not about Eldon. Yeah, and, okay, they only made $200 off of it back then, but if anything, him being the baby on the Nevermind album cover would be, like, I mean, that's like amazing marketing, right? Like, you know, you could mingle that into so many opportunities for your life 30 years later, you know? Like, people will give you attention based on that just in general. So, I don't know. I think this is really messed up. I think that it's just really convenient that all of a sudden he feels like he is being exploited and to be made like a sex worker. Come on, dude. You know that that is not the intention. You know that is not what that album cover is representing. That album cover is representing how money rules our life and rules the world, and greed is what it is from the get-go, like from birth, right? And that's very a grunge idea, right? Okay, I'm gonna stop rambling and ranting about this. What do you guys think about this lawsuit and the baby from Nirvana's Nevermind suing the band? What is the world coming to? It's like, oh, the humanity, like God. But anyway, let me know what you think about that down in the comments below. I am Asherella. This is my channel, Original Asherella. If you don't subscribe here, make sure you subscribe. If you're watching on ODYSEE, make sure you follow the channel. You can gently press the notification bell on either channel. Leave me a like, leave me a comment. Check out Kino and Commentary now on Twitch, Sundays, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am starting a live stream of my very own Original Asherella stream here in the very near future. That's going to be a Monday night stream, so keep an eye out for that. Always tap in, never tap out. Find me on Instagram, find me on Twitter, and keep on slaying like a Saiyan.